My guest tonight, a very talented actor who has starred in the films Shaun of the Dead, Star Trek, and the Mission Impossible movies. His latest TV series, Truth Seekers, can be streamed on Amazon Prime Video beginning tomorrow. Please welcome, I love this gentleman, Simon Pegg. Sir, how are you?
I'm very good, Conan. I love you too. It's nice to be back. It's been a while. I think the last time was The World's End when I was drunk acting for you.
Yeah, we haven't chatted in a while. Certainly not since this pandemic. And I don't even know where to begin. I mean, every interview that I do now begins with, "How are you? How are you handling this quarantine? How are you doing?"
Yeah, I'm all right. I enjoyed lockdown, to be honest. The first part of lockdown. You remember the first wave? It wasn't so bad.
Yes, right.
I was in the countryside. I was I was isolated. I was at my house. I was writing. I was kind of it was nice to have an excuse when your friend, when usually you have to pretend that you can't come out because the kid's sick or the dog is in prison or something. And I was able to say, no, I can't come out. There's a global pandemic. And I wasn't lying. And I felt good about that.
Okay, but here's the problem. I did that too, and I like that because I'm very antisocial, and I like to say, I'd love to be there, but there's a pandemic, can't make it. Now, I don't know if you're having this problem. I'm experiencing this. People that I never talked to that much ever in my life now say, let's hook up on Zoom and talk. And how do you get out of a Zoom call? You can't. They know you're home.
It's true.
These are people I was not close to, now constantly want to Zoom and catch up.
There must be a conspiracy theory somewhere that states that the people behind Zoom created COVID-19 to just corner the stock market make a killing. Because I'm the same. Every day there's a Zoom call to be had.
I have to say, and I'm not the only one, I've been thinking of you a lot during this quarantine, during COVID, because memes like this have been popping up constantly. And like it or not, you are the face of global pandemic and madness breaking out. How do you feel about that?
I couldn't be more proud, to be honest. It was something I'd always hoped would happen. The funny thing is that meme has popped up through various, through Brexit and through other, the re-election of the Tory party, whatever. As that's cropped up at home a lot. And then as the coronavirus began to sort of spread, it popped up again. But then we passed the point when going to the pub was actually allowed. So the meme itself became outdated quite quickly when going to the Winchester was no longer advisable. So Nick Frost and I kind of recreated that scene from Shaun of the Dead. I called him one morning. I was on the school run, and I said, Nick, I'm going to send you some lines. We'll do the thing again, but we'll make it about staying at home. So that's on YouTube somewhere. That was in the early stages of the pandemic when celebrity videos were cool. For that 2 weeks when they were cool.
Yeah, guess what? I missed that window. So I've been shut out of any kind of celebrity. There was a slight window, and I screwed up. Simon, I missed that window.
Just if you'd only got on the Imagine.
I'm curious because when you first started out and you did Shaun of the Dead, and I understand this because my people are descended from Ireland. I'm 100% Irish. So I understand what is called in the UK the tall poppy syndrome, where it's something that's in British culture where if someone's had a lot of success, people feel the need to chop him down. When you first hit with Shaun of the Dead, not long afterwards, there were people in the UK who had the sentiment, Simon Pegg's growing too big, too fast. Is that true?
Well, I was aware that might, because Shaun was a hit, and we received a certain amount of attention. I was anticipating this being the case. So in an interview, I think with probably the Sun newspaper, and they accusingly said, "Oh, you're going to go off and go to Hollywood now, aren't you? Like that's some sort of treasonous criminal act. Like I was going to cross some misty bridge at night and never come home again." And I said, just off the cuff, I just said, I'm not going to just leave and be in, I don't know, Mission Impossible 3. which was a film which didn't exist at that time. It was just Mission Impossible 2. And then about a month later, J.J. Abrams called and said, "Hey, do you want to be in Mission Impossible 3? And I said, "Yes, I do." Where's my plane ticket? And that happened as well with, what else did it happen with? There was another thing that
Well, probably Star Trek, because I know that you're a big I mean, you've had this.
Yes.
You've had this run of, and I just is because I've interviewed you a bunch, and I'm familiar with your predilections, not all of them, but you really do. I mean, you idolized Star Trek, and then suddenly you're in Star Trek. It's as if. Go ahead.
They're in Spaced. This is what it was. I had in our sitcom Spaced, which is where we sort of began. There was a line from my character about the notion of certainty, and the line was, "As sure as eggs is eggs, as sure as every odd-numbered Star Trek movie is shit." And then you jump forward like maybe 15 years, and I'm writing Star Trek 13. So it was a self-fulfilling prophecy.
I do feel that in a previous lifetime, and not that you don't deserve success, because you certainly do, but in a previous lifetime, you did something very heroic and wonderful, because it feels to me that you're constantly working on projects or being able to join projects that you would have been a huge fan of. You'd have been in line to see that Star Trek movie. You'd have been in line to see Mission Impossible if you weren't in them.
Absolutely.
It's a beautiful
thing. And it's very strange now. It's a lovely thing, and I'm never not blown away by that sort of circularity of the stuff that I enjoyed as a kid. The whether it be the films of Spielberg, who I ended up working with, or being into something like Star Wars or Star Trek, and getting to participate in that. It's been a real treat, And I'm here now on the, we're making Mission Impossible 7 in, or not. It's not called that. I don't know what it's called yet, but it's certainly not Mission Impossible 7. Sorry. But we're here doing that, and it's very exciting.
But behind you can't see this, but lawyers are closing in on you. Very menacing.
Tom Cruise is just like this with a gun, just
a little red dot on your head, and then down. Curious.
See that up here?
How because this is a question that I have for you is, how do you do a Mission Impossible movie? You're on set in Italy. I understand you guys are being very careful. Day to day, do you know if you're allowed to shoot or if the protocols change? How does that realistically happen?
Well, we're just working very carefully with the authorities here, and if they do change their protocols, then we pause and we reposition, and we're just being. An abundance of caution is the kind of the buzz phrase here, and that's what we're doing. And I think, when this happened in February, nobody knew what was happening. We have more knowledge now and more ability to kind of mitigate some of the problems that it throws up. So we're just being super careful.
You talk about being super careful, and I'm sure that you are with COVID, but you're also working with Tom Cruise. You're working with Tom Cruise on a Mission Impossible movie, and you talk about, we're being very careful. And I know anyone who looks at a magazine has seen photographs of some of the things that, we all know what he's done in the past movies, and we know that he likes to notch it up each time to the point where I don't think it's possible he can notch it up anymore. And now I'm hearing about these insane stunts that Tom Cruise is doing on the set of this movie. Are you present when he does those stunts?
Yes. And for us, it's like, when you watch the movie and you see him do those stunts, and it's nail biting, and there's a real sense of genuine kind of peril, because you know that it's him, but he survived, because he was on Good Morning America that morning, and he did some press. When we do it, when we watch him do it, we have no idea if he's going to survive. So he rides a bike off a cliff, and everyone's just waiting for good canopy, anybody, because Tom Cruise, it's terrifying.
It's terrifying. Are you with him before he gets on the bike, and does anyone talk to him and say anything like, "Look, it was nice knowing you. I'll pass on a message to anybody you want to get to"?
Yeah, he was hanging, because he loves it. He puts in a lot of work. He trains. He literally, will become the best at, you tell him something and he'll just become the best at it, and he'll take as many hours as it takes, but he won't do the stunt until he knows. I mean, the prep that went into the big stunts for this film are insane. But we saw him just before. I remember when we did the last one, the big helicopter chase, we were in New Zealand, and myself and Rebecca Ferguson, we were going to go back to London and leave Tom and Chris McQuarrie to do this big thing. And I said goodbye to Tom, and there was a real kind of, then, well, good luck, like not knowing if he was going to survive the next 10 days, which were him piloting a helicopter through these, these sort of glacial mountains. It was terrifying.
Yeah. So
hey,
you're there while it's happening. And we all know, like you say, you see him on Good Morning America, which is, by the way, that's how I determine if someone's still alive every day, is I check Good Morning America. And if they're on it,
mainly the host,
I know that they're okay. You're an adrenaline junkie, aren't you? You're someone who likes to try things.
Yeah, I mean, I like, snowboarding, and I like things that aren't necessarily lethal. I mean, the stuff that Tom does, that's off the charts. That's not adrenaline. That's some other hormone you only secrete just before you die. And he's next level. I'm always happy to do my own stunts in this. Fortunately, I'm the computer nerd. I'm basically his GPS, and I just tell him, go left, go right, jump off this cliff.
Yeah.
So I'm happy there,
Yeah, so the only thing that could really go wrong for you is you might delete some of your files. That's what's going to happen to Simon Pegg on one of these movies. Is he pressed Control-Alt-7 accidentally, and someone had to step in and correct it.
I might accidentally reveal my history on my web browser, and oh no, don't look at that! It's nothing at all.
Let me ask you about Truth Seekers. I feel I'm a huge fan of your work, and I think one of the things that you specialize in, and see if you agree, is you're very good at blending tension with comedy. You have a very good ear for just how to get that mix. It's a very hard thing to do. But I've loved that you've done it the way you've done it in all your movies. And now I believe that that's what you're accomplishing with Truth Seekers, is to try and get a nice blend of, it's humor, but it's also, you feel like the stakes are real and there are moments of real horror. Is that fair? Did he lose me or did I lose him?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
oh, good. You froze completely on my end. I think it's our connection.
Are you still there?
It was really funny on my end, because it looked like I just asked you the stupidest question you've ever heard, because I asked you this question that I thought was pretty decent, and you just stared at me for like 5 minutes, and I thought, wow. I just,
how dare you?
Simon's really pissed at me for complimenting his ability to blend comedy with horror and tension. So if you're angry, tell me now. I'm glad you think so. I mean, really, it's about with something like horror, you just don't make fun of the horror. You keep the horror intact. It's very easy to send up anything which is sort of genre-based sci-fi horror. It's easy to make fun of it because it requires us to suspend our disbelief. And if you just fold your arms and go, that's ridiculous, you can spoof it or make fun. But if you just kind of let the comedy happen adjacent to the horror, then you can have your cake and eat it, So that's kind of our philosophy with Truth Seekers, which is a sort of paranormal investigation comedy. It's Nick's show, really. Nick Frost is the main guy in it, and I crop up as his boss now and again. But that's our kind of always been our MO, really, is don't take the easy route, Yeah, well, it's one of the things I remember. I've watched Hot Fuzz several times with my son, who's a massive fan of yours, and we've watched it several times. And one of the things that I really marvel at is it's so funny and the comedy is so well done, but the stakes are high, and my heart is racing the whole time because you don't condescend to do the action as comedy; it's real action.
Oh, sure, yeah, absolutely. Because otherwise it wouldn't work as well,
Yeah.
we love those movies. We weren't seeking to make fun of the American action film. It was an absolute love letter to it. So it would be silly to do anything but try and be one of those things, you know.
Right.
That was
right. Nick Frost, I know that you guys have been friends forever. This started with you before either of you had made it, and long before Shaun of the Dead. In your 20s, you guys were hanging out together. Probably, I mean, what were you doing? What were the two of you doing to entertain yourselves and to sort of let your imaginations go?
Well, we were sharing a flat together in North London, and we had very little in the way of possessions. We had a gas heater, on top of which was a combo television VHS recorder, and we would watch episodes of The X-Files, seasons 1 and 2, as it was then. It was about 95, 96. And also on the weekends, we go ghost hunting, which was our code really for sitting in my Renault 5 and getting blazed in the countryside, which was a noble pursuit.
Okay, so your search for the paranormal involved you and Nick Frost sitting in a car and doing some kind of recreational drug.
Exactly. And the paranormal thing was seeing how many Cheetos we could eat in half an hour, which would be unbelievable amounts.
You know,
paranormal levels of gluttony.
Simon, I suspect that many great ghosts, Napoleon, Abraham Lincoln, Queen Victoria, contacted you guys, but you were too stoned. Probably the mystery.
Like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, whatever, Gandhi, whatever. We're busy. Well, we have a clip here from Truth Seekers that we're going to show right now. Anything we need to know to understand this scene?
I think this is as Nick's boss in the show, I kind of task them. He's basically a satellite repair engineer with a new partner, and he's sort of running a ghost hunting business out of the back of his van.
Right.
And I'm sending him off to various places, and I know where I'm sending him. You know, these are the kind of places. So this is me tasking Gus with going to a formerly haunted hotel, I think.
All right, let's take a look at this clip from Truth Seekers.
Listen, can we not have another day like yesterday?
Relax, it's not like every place we go is going to be haunted.
Sorry, did you say haunted?
I did, yes. Britain's most haunted 3-star hotel, the Portland Beacon. Now, I thought that might pique your interest, Gus.
It's nothing but a cheap tourist draw, believe me. I've looked into it.
Thorough as ever. That is why you are my #1 installer, Gus.
Mea culpa.
And you, mister, are my number 28. Not bad.
And we're back. You and I didn't actually see the clip. They'll slice that in
though.
because wasn't it
Nice.
good?
Yeah, brilliant.
I will get the word out on Truth Seekers because as I've told you many times, I'm a massive fan of your work. You're enormously talented gentleman, and I'm very happy that these great things keep happening for you. You know?
Oh, bless you. Well, it's lovely to see you. I was talking to someone the other day about it's been a while since we were. How's Andy doing? Is he around? What's happening
Andy,
with him?
you know,
in
it's so
lockdown?
funny. He's here. He was here, and he was shooting with me. But then he took off. I said, "Look, well, I'm going to go do some interviews." And he's like, "Well, then I'm out of here." He took off. So enjoying the good life somewhere, if you can, in quarantine.
It's really focused us on our priorities, this pandemic. That's for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, Truth Seekers is available to stream on Amazon Prime Video starting tomorrow. And whenever you and your good friend Nick Frost do anything, I'm down for it. So I'm very excited for this project. And
Thank you, buddy.
thank you so much for doing this. What time is it where you are, by the way?
It is just approaching 11 o'clock in the evening here.
Okay. And is the American election over yet? It would be great if you were a couple of days ahead of us and you could tell us what happened.
Oh, I do. I know. And it's incredible. You won't believe it.
Okay. Just finished my interview with Simon Pegg, the only man who knows what happens next Tuesday. Hey, Simon, thank you.
No spoilers. Don't worry. No spoilers.
No spoilers. No spoiler. You know, actually, people would take a spoiler alert on this one, but thank you so much. Always a joy to talk to you. Andy's frozen again at the end.
You too, buddy. You take care.
Simon, can you hear me? There really was a great moment where I asked you a question and you just stared at me, but you're frozen. But it really did look like you were Ricky Gervais and I had said the wrong thing, which can happen.
Not at all. It can happen.
Yes, it can. We'll talk about that over a pint sometime privately. So nice to talk to you, sir. Be well.
You too, mate. And good luck on November 3rd, man. The world is crossing its fingers.
Yeah, I know. It's craziness. I think we'll be good.
Okay.
All right. I bow to you.
Hope so.
Take care.
And to you, sir. Take care. Bye.